Hey friends, welcome back to Watavue Mountain. Yep, not at the mountain today. We're here in suburbia in the garage, so you might get a little echo. Sorry about that. We're using the GoPro because it was the only thing charged. Task at hand today is we got this slab of wood from Blake. I think it's from a pine tree. I'm not exactly sure what this one is. And we're gonna make a bench, an outdoor bench with this slab of wood. And we have 3 stumps like this one back here, and I'm pretty sure they're water oaks. I'm not sure. Somebody smart out there can tell me what they are as we move along. Yeah, so that's what we're getting after today. So thanks for coming. Thanks for checking us out. I know it's been a long time since we put out any kind of real video, but you know, cabin burnt down, kind of shut us down for a little while, and that's where we are. So enough of me rambling. Let's get to business. All right, before we get too far along, let's just take a look at what we're using today. So, of course, we need some sandpaper and something to sand with. And then we decided to go with this Cabot Australian timber oil to seal it, because it had great reviews. It's got UV resistance. It's waterproof. Here in the south in Georgia, you know, it stays sunny all year long. And so we wanted something with good ratings for UV protection. So that's why we went with that. A couple different sandpapers, 80, 120, 180. A 220, I don't know if we'll use them all or not. We'll kind of see as we go how it smooths out. We got the mini rollers, the multi-surface. These are microfiber, so that'll help make that a little easier once we start doing that. The stir, don't really need that. Some brushes, because we want to kind of keep this live edge. I don't know if you can see that. I can't see it on the camera, but we still have the live edge on here. We still have the bark. So we want to keep that bark, and we're going to seal that up too. And then I haven't exactly decided yet how we're going to secure this this bench to these stumps. So I got 2 different things. I got 6-inch headlock screws, so that if I do go down through the top, these are flat and flush. You'll see later. I'll pull them out and show them to you. Or if we're going to come from the bottom and kind of do a circle all the way around and come from underneath to secure those. So I have some 4-inch outdoor deck screws. And then, of course, I have the air compressor already hooked up, ready to go, because I want to clean it off when I'm done sanding. And then a couple of towels just so we can wipe it after we blow it off. We're still going to wipe it off just to make sure that we don't leave any dust particles or any of that any of the residue from sanding on the surface when we go to seal it. And we're probably going to do the same thing to the stumps that we're doing to the top. I haven't decided yet. I at least want to seal the bottom because these stumps are going to be sitting straight on the ground. But I don't know if I need to seal the rest of them or not. Like I said, we'll kind of figure it out as we go. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to start with some sanding, and so I'll just show a little bit, probably a little time lapse of the sanding. And then once we get along a little bit, because these edges right here are kind of sticking up, and we'll kind of tackle that together, how we're going to flatten those out. So let me get all this crap out of the way, and we're going to start sanding. Okay, first sanding done, and I was wrong. It's 120. I thought I had some more 80 left. I guess it was in the cabin, so now it's gone. But so you see here, this is that bark I was talking about. We want to leave this bark intact. So what I did, I don't know if you could tell in the video, the time lapse, but I just sanded this down on top. So it really wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. So you can see it's nice and flush here, but then this, you can see there, looking down that way, see how this pops up here. So I'm going to continue to go down both sides and get this flush, because I think that's going to look real nice. Even though you're not really going to see this bark once we put it on the stumps, but we still have some nice striations in the wood, and I want to leave that as much as I can. But of course I want to make sure that it's smooth and I get any whatever, if this is mold or mildew, in this area or this area, I want to make sure I get all that out. And then this end down here is a little flared, so you know, we'll probably put that last stump somewhere in here and leave this kind of as a drink holder or something like that, because I really don't think that's stable enough to really hold anybody. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to hit it one more time. I'm going to finish these, and then I'm going to come back with 180 and then 220. I'm not going to show all that because it's pretty boring watching people sand. It's boring sanding, so I know it's even more boring watching people sand. So I'm going to get that knocked out, and then we'll come back and see what's next. All right, while Sean's doing a little bit of sanding, we're going to take a look at these stumps. So as you can see, this is not exactly flush at the bottom or the top. So right there we're at about 24 3/4. Over here 24 1/2, and then over here we're at 26 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to square this end up first, and then get my measurements to square off this end. So the one tool I did forget was that we're going to need a chainsaw to do this. So let me get my headphones on, and we'll get this thing fired up and see if we can get this thing semi-square. Now we're going to be putting it on the ground, so we can still manipulate the dirt or the rocks underneath it so that we can get it flush, I mean level, once we get the bench put together. But I want to get it just a little bit closer than it is right now. So let's do that. Alright, so you saw I made some markings here at about 23 inches. So now I'm going to use the chalk line just to try to give myself just a general idea of where I'm trying to cut, to try to get this a little bit more flushed up. So 23 inches there, 23 inches there. Just kind of gives myself a little mark so that I can try to get it somewhat flush. So it's not going to be great, but dagnabbit. Can I get your help real quick? Yep. Just hold that end right there. Couple little taps. I'm not going to go all the way around with it. I'm hoping once I get this started right here that I'll be able to maintain it going all the way through. So we'll see how it works out, but about 23 inches is what I'm shooting for. See how close we are. I think it's time for a tune-up on that. 22 1/2, 22 3/4, 23. So yeah, that's pretty close. Like I said, the ground down there is kind of sloped, so I think we'll be in good shape. So I'll do this to the other two, and then we'll see where we're at with the sanding. All right, so this is the back side. We already sanded the other side, sanded the back side. We're still going to seal this even though we're not going to see it because we don't want it to rot. So like I said, I already blew it off with the pressure, the air hose, and then I'm just going to take a rag and I'm just going to kind of wipe this down to make sure there's no dust on here. So you see there's still, can't really appreciate it much from there, but there's still just a little bit on there. So we want to make sure we get as much off as we possibly can before we start putting the sealant on there. So we're going to do two different things with the sealant, right? Obviously a roller's not going to work in the bark, so Sean's going to grab the paintbrush, and I'm going to just use a roller on the top, and then I'll probably end up transitioning to a paintbrush because it's going to take a lot longer to brush it all into all these grooves, and we're going to have to brush it into each and every one of them. So we'll talk about it a little bit more as we go, and maybe move the camera over to the side so you can kind of see down the edge as we go. So let me move that camera and then we'll start doing this. All right, so you can see there, then Sean started with the top right here. I'm just gonna kind of roll that out a little bit. It's a little sticky, so see how this goes. I think once I get it started, we'll be fine, but a nice light coat. You don't want to saturate it, but you want to make sure you get enough on there that you're sealing it. So and I'm going both ways. This stuff says that it's not terrible at runs and streaks, so we're going to put that to the test today. And then because this is rough cut, make sure you're getting down in all those little grooves and nooks and crannies and every little piece. Because it's not like a nice pre-cut board that you go buy at the big blue box store. It's got nooks and crannies everywhere, so we got to make sure they're all filled in all the way through.
Just one coat?
Yep, that's what it says. Good point. So according to the instructions from Cabot, this only needs one coat. So hopefully we don't have to come back for a second coat. So again, that makes it all the more important to make sure that we get all the nooks and crannies that we can. And I'm kind of cheating with this roller on this flat surface. I could have just used the brush, but I had a roller, so I figured I would use a roller. And now I'll grab a brush and I'm going to start helping on the other side. So as you saw, we did the underside. We waited about 30 minutes or so until the flat surface wasn't tacky anymore. Now the bark is still a little damp, a little tacky. So we went ahead and flipped it over, made sure we put it on the flat surface on here so we don't mar that up too bad. But that again is the underside, so I'm more worried about the waterproofing than I am about the look. And then we went ahead and sealed the top of this. I also went ahead and sealed the bottom of the two. We're just going to use two of those stumps, two of those logs, because that end, we're not really going to be able to sit on that end. You see it's kind of small and flimsy. So we'll probably put one here and one here roughly. So what are we looking at as far as dimensions of this wood goes? So about 18 inches at the wide part. We're about 12 inches or a foot there. And then all together, we're about 7 feet long, but we're probably only realistically going to use, what, 48 inches of it? So from here down, probably 4 feet of it is going to be usable surface. So now what we're going to do is we're going to let all this dry. Like I said, I sealed the bottom of those stumps because they're going to be on the ground. We don't want them to rot. And then we're going to come tomorrow, we're going to put the stumps in place and get them level. And then we're going to take this down and figure out how to get it secure. So we'll see you in the morning. All right, so we got the stumps kind of in place. Like I said, I sealed the bottoms. We're going to put them about 3 feet apart. So pretty close there. You got the level. So I don't have my long level anymore because it got burned up in the fire. So I'm gonna try to turn these because they're not perfectly straight and the ground's a little cattywampus. Let's see if, well, that's not gonna get us. That makes it worse. That's about as level as that's gonna get. So give me that shovel, please. So I'm gonna just dig a little bit out on this just to try to get this level, but I guess then the next problem is gonna be leveled this way once we get the thing on there. So just hold that stump for me right there, baby. Yep. It's not gonna take much. I don't think. Look at there.
That's
all? Right,
all?
that's level. And now, so now I need to pick some off of this side.
This side?
Tilt it that way.
Oh God! Flip-flops is not a good thing to use.
Nah. Not enough.
There's a bunch of dirt over here.
Roots. The roots. There you go.
Close enough. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Yep, pretty close. All right, now we're gonna go grab the board. It's nice and dry. It's been over 24 hours. Get it lined up.
Come on, come on. Go.
A little better on that one. How do you like that? Going downhill a little. What you think? Does it need to be lower?
No.
I mean, this side's going to be shorter than that side, right? Try sitting on that side.
It's just these things. But I got them shorts too.
Yeah.
So.
You like it there?
Yeah. What do you think?
I don't think it's too close to the fire. I think it's just right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's screw it in place.
What do you need to do?
Nothing right now, I don't think. So, like I said, we have these 6-inch headlock screws, nice and flat on the top, you can see. So, we'll get these flush. And I'm put 3 or 4 in each one.
Do you need me to hold it? Here, no.
Might have to get the impact for this. Always something in it.
You need another battery?
Dead battery. This one doesn't have enough juice to do it. She's going to grab the impact. But I like that so far. And then just for some added security, which is probably overkill. I'm gonna put a couple of these 4-inch screws on the underneath. So.
Is this right?
Yep. So I'm just gonna kind of run them up at an angle like this from the bottom, just to catch it, give us a little bit more stability. And pray to God I don't come out the top. Go. Let's see if this impact will bury these.
I don't think you need to do all that.
I don't think so either. That's going to be it for those. So there you go, friends. Pretty basic, pretty simple. Just sand it, sand it, sand it. Make sure you coat it well. Pick out something good. The urethane coatings work great, but like I said, we decided to go with the that oil instead, and I think it turned out great. We'll see how it does with the weathering on the bark. But overall, she's sturdy. Now, once it cools off, we can come out and enjoy the campfire, which is a mess right now because we've been collecting boxes, but we'll get it burned up soon enough. So there you go, friends. Thanks for coming. Thanks for checking us out. Like I said, I know we've been kind of ghosting you on videos, but we haven't been doing much. Mowing the grass and just normal upkeep stuff. So, as always, we're absolutely blessed to be on this journey and to have you along with us. So thank you for that. It really means a lot. We're up to 2,500 subscribers, 800,000 views. So we must be doing something right. So thank you, and thank you, and thank you. I can't thank you enough. So yeah, till next time, be safe. God bless.